Another completely miserable day out here. Welcome back for another video, guys. If you're not subscribed, be sure to do that. If you're subscribed already, thank you, you're awesome. So today I'm going to be doing something that some people may think that is completely unnecessary. The hell was that? I think it is slightly a little unnecessary, but either way, we're going to do this. I'm going over to my car. Intake manifold is going to come off today. So yeah, intake manifold is going to come off. From what I remember, from what I know of, there's two coolant leaks that I cannot get to with the intake manifold on. There's just too much stuff going on. And then on top of it, there's like a lot of clutter going on underneath that I will be able to clean up once I take this off. So kind of not looking forward to it, but I have been saying if I were to do it again, I can make it, well, you guys are a little low. I have been saying to myself, to a couple people, that if I were to do this whole thing again, like this engine build motor out of car thing, I'd be able to do it a lot cleaner next time. This is going to be my attempt to make it cleaner. And by cleaner, it's basically just going to be the stuff underneath that you already can't see. But for my own sake of working on the car myself, it's going to be cleaner. One of the coolant leaks that One of the coolant leaks that I know of is that one right there. You can see it's already a little green on the tape there. There's no way of getting to that. The fuel rail is here, kind of like in there. I don't think there's a tool that could get in there. Basically gonna have to take this stuff off to tighten it up with a socket. And then underneath here, right in there, the other coolant neck, I guess that's the return out of the outlet from the motor, whichever one it is. There's an extra little port that's coming off of it that one's leaking also. I'm pretty sure there's a leak in the back somewhere, so just gonna bite the bullet, just gonna suck it up and attempt to take this thing off. Not really looking forward to it, but I kind of want to do it because these leaks have been annoying me. The worst part is every single time the worst part's jacking this car up, so like a little too low to get my big jack completely under to the cross member, so I usually have to jack up from like a little toe point there with the small jack, and then I can get the other one underneath. Just gonna suck it up and do it. If Quick Jacks wants to sponsor me and just send me out a set, I'll be more than happy to use those. Please. Car's jacked up. You can kind of see it there. Gonna disconnect the battery because there's electrical stuff there. I'm gonna be probably messing with actually, I don't even know if I need to, but I'm just going to do it anyway. Just in case I feel the need to take anything off. But anything electrical, obviously disconnect your battery. Battery's disconnected. Not even completely sure where I'm going to start disconnecting stuff. But I guess we're going to go into a time lapse here and just going to start taking stuff apart. Try to stay organized. There's actually not that many bolts of things that I'm taking off, so it shouldn't be too hard to stay organized. The main things that I'm probably going to have to worry about is just the intake manifold bolts, but those are all Allen head bolts except for like one over here. So, I mean, other than that, it's all AN fittings and some clips. So underneath, I believe there's a couple clips. My boost, the map sensors under there, the boost sensors there for the AEM digital gauge. Then I have two vacuum sources off the bottom of the manifold. Intake piping, throttle cable, this coolant hose, which I'm probably going to wind up spilling coolant all over the place. I don't remember if I mentioned the fuel rail, but fuel rail might spray gas all over the place, so I'm going to make sure I cover it up with some sort of paper towel or rag, just in case to keep the spray down. Then I guess we're just going to get into it. I probably got to take this catch can off, but the wheel's on and it's bolted through there. well, I'm just gonna start taking stuff off and we'll see where I end up. I don't know if we're gonna do everything today. I'll probably make this all one video though. So enjoy. Cue the time lapse. Alright, now what I think is the last step before it's time to remove that, here's our 6mm Allen key bolts. There's 6 on the top, probably about 6 on the bottom too. I don't remember exactly. The bottom ones are probably going to be a pain in the ass to get to, but we're going to attempt to get to them the best we can. Then I believe the manifold's ready to come off, so I will join back with you guys in a second. Dropped a ton of coolant on the floor. Let me move you guys over. Onto the last bolt. It was kind of annoying getting the ones underneath the manifold, but down to the last bolt, up over here. Left the top one on as the last one. Gonna take that off. Then hopefully we're not connected to too much stuff. Doesn't feel like we are, so should come off. Hopefully. Probably gonna drop more coolant on the floor too. Don't spill that there. How does this clip come off? Try not to hit my nice powder coated thing here. Alright, clip off. Think we got everything? Yeah. Alright, break time. Alright, so garage is a complete mess. Spilled a lot of coolant on the floor, a little more fuel than I was originally planning for. But the intake's off. The bolts underneath were a little bit of a pain in the ass, but little short ratchet with the Allen key, with the Allen bit on it, did wonders. I will show you what I'm talking about in a second. Now I'm looking at it, I could only get it so neat with the intake manifold off because there's still some wires that have to go up through, like all the injector wires have to go through the runners to clip into the injectors, so I won't be able to zip tie those up all neat. But one of the main things that I want to do is fix the heater core hose. Well, the old heater core hose, which is now just the loop. That's going to get fixed. I'll show you it looks like there was more than one spot on the manifold that was leaking. It is aluminum, so I guess you can't get a really good seal. I wasn't trying to crank them down too tight and then completely destroy the threads in there. So I might look into using some sort of a... There's a cat over there. I might look into using some sort of different gasket maker or something like that just to make sure I get a really good seal on it. And then I'll show you the wiring. Hold on, let's look. So this is what we're working with here. Let me get some even more light for you. That's all the coolant I spilled over that on my starter and all that good stuff. This is the heater core hose. It's going up like that, all sloppy, and then back in. Really messy. If you see it. So I'm gonna neaten that up. That's a main thing I want to neaten up, if I can make it a lot tighter to the engine to over here. Either this guy or this guy was leaking also. Then I think that's all the leaks that I had here, and then the other main ones, like I was saying, was on the intake manifold. But just gonna start neatening this up, see if I can find like another elbow or something for the old heater core hose to tighten it up. I'm probably going to have to continue to use like that little piece of pipe that I have there just to make the connection, but not too bad actually. Alright, this is where we're at. It probably doesn't look as neat as it should, but I'm starting to run wires. My back is killing me from leaning over this entire time, but I'm going to leave it like that for today. Just gotta... That wire got caught under there somewhere, somehow. How does that get caught under there? There we go. This, just like strapping all this stuff up neat as I go. It's going to look a lot better than this once the manifold's on. Probably look extra clean, but that's how it's looking right now. And we will get back to this in a minute. We'll get back to this tomorrow. And we're back. Where are we at? This is a few days later. This isn't the next day. This is like, what the hell is that? This is like 3 days later. Running into a couple problems here. So let's get into it with the intake since we're continuing this. What I did here was I took these guys off. I actually put gasket maker on the fitting going in, and I redid those. And as I was waiting for it to dry, because you got to wait for an hour before you torque it completely down. Oh, it's leaking here too. I don't know about that. You got to wait an hour for it to dry. I decided, hey, let me take my timing cover off. Let me recheck the timing belt. Make sure its tension still good, because I was told it could possibly stretch, so just check it again. Blah, blah, blah. Start putting everything back together. Go to put the cam angle sensor on, and this piece broke. That's the end of my cam. I have been told it isn't the end of the world. You can still make it work, but it is a little bit, you just got to be a little extra careful with it. If you see, I don't know if it's going to focus here. Where's the light coming from? If you see there's like that star pattern in there, that's what actually drives it. That little pin was just kind of like a keyway or whatever, just to line it up in the correct spot. I guess to make it a lot easier to line it up in the correct spot. So all you got to do is just be careful installing it, and it will work. Guess we're gonna have to do that for now. I have been thinking, in the past I was thinking of doing the trigger kit for the car. I know it's supposed to make everything work better, I guess. It gives it a better timing reading from the cam, and I was gonna do the crank also, just because if I'm doing it, I might as well do all of it. So you do the crank and the cam, you get a better signal. Apparently you just get horsepower and torque throughout the rev range just installing it without even doing anything, without even like retuning or anything. So I'm probably going to look into that. I'm looking at the PRP, I think it's Platinum Racing Performance or something like that. That's considered one of the best ones. There are other ones, so I'm just doing a little research before I purchase it. And if I can find someone in America that has it to make the shipping actually come a little faster, I'd be more willing to do that, because trying to get a part from Australia right now might be a little bit of an issue with this global pandemic going on. I don't know why I didn't look at those parts earlier. Looks like it's leaking from these fittings, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start installing this. I'm gonna put it back on the car, and then since I can actually get to those spots to make sure the seal is good, I'm gonna install the whole thing, then take it apart, do the whole gasket maker thing. Or maybe I'll do the gasket maker now and wait for it, and then I can install it when it's already on the car, because it's in the front and you can actually get to it. Let me do the gasket maker. Oh, and the last thing says to wait 24 hours before you put any fluids through it. So, I mean, I could probably still run the car, but I'm just going to leave it jacked up like this until tomorrow, and then if I could get the cam angle sensor to work properly, then tomorrow I'll bleed the coolant and do all that stuff. But just for today, we're getting this thing reassembled. Oh, by the way, my back was destroyed from the first day. Good thing I didn't work on it yesterday and the day before, because I wasn't having it. And I don't remember if I showed you what we're looking like down here, but this is how we're looking. Still looks a little messy. This stuff is all the last stuff that has to get plugged in, and I can't do it until the intake manifold's on, so we're going to throw that on. We got everything, try to zip tie nice and tight there. That's not being used, but I'm going to try to throw this thing back on, and then get it even more neat. All right, so we're at 98% back together. This is how we're looking now. Kind of looks the same as originally before I decided to do all this. Only one bolt in the cam angle sensor because I'm gonna have to try to like take it out and line it back up to get it to work for now until I decide what trigger kit I'm gonna go with. But once I get that working, it's gonna work from the end till the end of time until I take that off again, and then I just gotta worry about lining it up if I do that. But let's look under. All right, so it's kind of similar to how it looked before, actually. Just a little bit neater. By making it super neat under there, it was very hard to get those bolts in. There's like a bolt back here underneath. It's very hard to get that one in. These hoses gonna get hooked back up once I get that other thing all set. Cam angle sensor, I could actually plug that back in. Then we have these temperature gauges. And then we're all hooked up again. The only thing that could have made it neater is if this bung was like welded like inside, so then I could kind of hide the wire a little bit more, because the way the loom is set up, it's just like that. I guess if the map sensor was like underneath here instead, it would have been better. But other than that, not too bad. My back is killing me, but I guess it was kind of worth it. I hopefully sealed up those coolant leaks. That was like the main objective here. Other than that, I think we're good. So that's it for today. Is this light still on? Yes, this light's still on. Let me charge it back up. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me for doing this test that I guess didn't really have to be done, but it was kind of bothering me that I wanted to get done. I guess I found that the little keyway thing on my camshaft is destroyed. But on the same note, it's not completely necessary to have that. Hopefully the coolant leaks are fixed. I'm not gonna run this till tomorrow because that gasket maker that I put on those fittings said to wait 24 hours before you put any fluid through it. So gonna do that, gonna wait, gonna do the right thing this time, gonna wait. This other one, I threw these back in. Just gotta come back in an hour and torque them down a little tighter. But until then, I will see you guys on the next one. So thanks for joining me. Subscribe, like, comment. I know this is, once again, completely unnecessary, but it was necessary to me. I'll see you guys on the next one. Join me again. And I don't know what we're going to be doing next, so stay tuned.